What's up, all brats? It's Special God here, and welcome to part 2 of What If Deku Had Haki. Now, the part 1 is up in the channel, so you can go check it out, or click in the link in the description below for the playlist, so you can go check it out. And if you guys haven't seen part 1, again, for the third time, I'm telling you to go and check it out because I kind of made a half bit between because I was having a headache when I made the first part. But this is the second part, and I'll try to make it over 25 minutes because that's what it is. I'm still having the same headache, so I'll try my best, you could say. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get watching. So, story would start off with the day after Midoriya gets one for all. He comes to the ground, and Alma decides to test just how much Izuku just got it. So Izuku, All Might goes to his buff form and tells Izuku to throw his punch, maximum punch. That's what he does. Izuku charges one for all in his fist and throws a punch, which All Might takes it without much effort. I mean, he has taken even more blows rather than his own punch, but Izuku's hand gets destroyed. Like, seriously, this shocks both Izuku and All Might but for both completely different reasons. All Might thought that Izuku might be able to handle the entire percentage of one for all, but it seems that he can't. Izuku is eligible for one for all, it seems. And Izuku, because come on, his hands just broke, so yeah, he's gonna be in pain. But All Might is able to easily take Izuku to the nursery's office, or I forgot what her name was, but the old nurse's office where she's able to treat him. And yeah, Recovery Girl. Yeah, Recovery Girl, that's her name. So All Might takes Izuku to Recovery Girl where she heals Izuku, and All Might decides to give the rest of the day off so Izuku could formulate that his arm was just broken without any reason, and for Izuku and All Might to figure out what the hell is happening. And they do. The rest of the day is training off while All Might and Izuku discuss what the hell happened, and they come to a conclusion that Izuku's body just cannot take the entire percent of all for one for all without getting broke. Meaning Izuku has to go from bottom up, from 1% to 2%. And but that's when Izuku decides, for a weird feeling, Izuku decides to go with it. Okay, Izuku decides to go with it, and the next day Izuku decides to go from to a 1% punch, 1% punch, then a 2% punch, then a 3% punch. But that's all he can take. His body can take only 3% punch. This All Might tells him that he needs to make his body more stronger, so he could well take more so that his body could take more percentage of one for all. But that's when Izuku gets an idea. If he wants to make his body stronger, then why not he do something? So he focuses on his Haki, covers it in his arm, and then uses one for all. He goes to 3%, then he goes to 4%. It still doesn't hurt him. And it goes to 5%. It starts to hurt, but it's not that big of a deal. But it goes to 6%. Uh, that's where Izuku can realize that it is his limit. Izuku uses a 6% smash, which destroys the fridge right in front of him. I mean, it makes a dent. All Might is shocked that Izuku was just able to go from 3% to 6% in just a spark. But Izuku tells him, why not just combine him with his Haki? This makes All Might realize that, well, he never thought of that. He could even, I mean, he could even use a Haki conjuncting with one for all. So I mean, it could just enhance the power output that Izuku is using. But All Might tells Izuku to not get relied on Haki, and to his surprise, Izuku says, well, yeah, he did kind of get relied on Haki because that was his only way of power. And now that he has another way, he isn't reliant on both of them. He has to rely on his own body, so his body could accept the power that his course is inside of him, like Haki and one for all. And that's what happens for the next 9 months. Izuku, well, practices with both Conqueror's Haki and into One for All. Now, before this, Izuku was able to use Conqueror's Haki, but not that masterfully. He had to concentrate and he was able to use it, and his concentration should be there so he could use it. I mean, come on. Izuku never really used in a full on fight, but due to All Might being there, All Might is able to give him some valuable combat experience, causing Izuku to kind of changed from a consciousness haki to a instinctual haki, basically, and like subconscious haki, where he can just do where he can just use armament haki in under a second. Basically, what Luffy can do, use conquest haki under a second. Add that with this growing mastery of One for All, this goes basically really strong. Izuku uses armament haki in his legs and channels One for All in them, causing him to get a jump boost as well as a little speed boost. And with All Might giving him combat experience, with haki being used to enhance his own physical attributes, so he could take more One for All, as well as training his own body. Izuku is easily able to take 30% of One for All in all the 10 months. But remember this very clearly. This is not full cowling 30%. Izuku still hasn't learned full cowling, okay? Izuku still hasn't learned full cowling. He's just using armored haki with One for All spinning around his arm. It's basically the same Izuku that using One for All in his fingers or something, where he concentrates in his fingers. Now, anyways, 10 months are up, and All Might wishes him luck for the USA entrance exam, and Izuku goes to the UA entrance exam, confidence brimming, and due to the fact that he isn't a nervous wreck, he doesn't meet Uraraka, but he still meets Katsuki, who like glares at him for even existing, according to Izuku, that is. But Izuku just rolls his eyes and walks, ignoring Katsuki, which makes Katsuki fume in anger, but Katsuki really can't do anything. After that, the first exam is held, which is the written portion. That Izuku is still smart, Izuku is still smart, so he does, I think, have sixth, seventh, I don't know what place he came in canon, I think it was second maybe, just after Katsuki. So that he does, and then when the robots are introduced, he does still interrupts, but this time it is in Izuku because he's mumbling, he's just there, listening to it and thinking in it in his own brain. Either just interrupts the 0 point to add the 0 pointers, nothing more, nothing less. And when they get to the place of the combat trip where they want to get the points, the combat zone, if I remember correctly, that's what its name was. But if the name is different, forgive me. I'm kind of, my head is spinning right now, and you might be wondering why the hell then I'm doing what if this? What if then? Well, the answer is simple. What ifs are basically an idea which are stuck on my brain, and if I don't release them, it stays there, which causes me to have even more headache. So even though I have a headache, I just flow through it, wanting to just release it out. So I don't have ideas upon ideas in my brain. I like seriously have so many ideas in my brain that I don't even note like 90% of it, because like whenever I'm sleeping, I just pops up. I just make a fucking full scenario of it. Then I just forget about it. So, anyways, I'm blabbering a lot. But as I said, what is his name? President Mike starts the test, and Isuku immediately runs inside, while President Mike shouts at the other students that there are no countdowns in a real battle. Izuku runs, while running, he comes across a 2 point robot, and Izuku channeling One for All as well as Haki in his hands basically destroys, I mean, completely obliterates the robot. And this is what happens. Basically, speed boosting himself with Almond Haki in his legs as well as One for All. He basically speed blitzes most of them, most of the robots, as well as punching them and kicking them, doing whatever he wants. Due to his enhanced combat abilities with learning martial arts as well as sparring with All Might, he actually is a pretty decent guy. I mean, he has pretty good battle IQ. And this goes till the last 5 minutes, and Izuku is able to rank up at least 80 points. And with observation haki, you can easily see that people are trying to catch up to him. And with observation haki, even though he can't sense robots since they don't have any life force within them, I mean, come on, dude. Izuku can only sense people who have will. Even a tiny little bit of will, he can still sense it. But due to that, Izuku, even the robot does not have a will until it's a corrupted robot, which miraculously has a will. Is there are no any other will, so Izuku can't really track them using his observation haki, but he can track the other students with observation haki, meaning he is able to kind of count them, count the numbers of the destruction they did, because why not? And just before the timer is up, like 5 minutes before, the UA faculty decided to just spice up the tournament and release a 0 pointer. And Izuku seeing this and sees the other students running, compliments on the heroism to run when a threat is appeared. He expands his observation haki as far as possible to see if anybody is in danger, and senses a girl stuck in a rubble. Izuku, without any thought, rushes to stop speed, and he's able to immediately he blitz passes Ida as well as anybody who's running past him. I mean, Izuku basically blitzes most of them. I mean, not he blitzes past them, and he immediately reaches a girl whose name is Uraka, and is able to rip the rebel out of her and picks her up, and then blitzes again. His body isn't able to hang. I mean, his body does hurt because of the. He's basically using all 30% full 30% one for all, so much that his body isn't able to fully handle it. But whatever, as I said, his body isn't that damaged. I mean, it's not even damaged because of the fact that almond haki is basically overpowered and it reduces all type of damage. Now he saves Uraraka and brings her to Recovery Girl when the competition or when the test ends, and he leaves her there and goes back to his house where he and his mother are waiting for the results. A week later, the results are announced with Izuku, due to the fact that he has won, he's like has good scores in the written exam, as well as him racking 80 points in destroying the 2 pointers and 3 pointer robots. Not only that, but having points for saving a person too. He has accumulated enough points to be the number one student, as well as he has around a point of 110, which is just below Allmate, which is around a point of 114. So he's the second highest scorer in UA entrance exam, causing him to be welcomed by All Might to Class 1A. Izuku and his mom are excited and she hugs him, crying and apologizing for not believing in him. Izuku calms her down and explains what the fuck his coke is. Now, during this 7 months of training, Izuku and Toshinori did have a lot of talk, and eventually Toshinori decided to explain to Izuku about One for All, I mean All for One, and the past of One for All to each other. I mean, to Izuku, and Izuku decided to still continue being the successor of All Might, and they did not want the secrets of One for All to go into the public. I mean, All Might did escape the interviewers to regarding the score cake. They made a persona of kind of like personal persona. They made a fake, which allows they made a fake quirk, which allows Izuku to use his ability much more freely without being constricted by some particular type. Izuku explains, now let's go to the present, where Izuku explains to his mother what his ability is, which is willpower. Basically, he can manipulate willpower into doing things. He shows this by using the willpower as well as One for All, which kind of gives him a lightning type effect in his legs. It shocks his mother and blitzes there. Due to the fact that he has observation haki, he can easily react to his speed. meaning he just doesn't crash it down. And doing these trainings with All Might, as well as him getting used to his speed, his observation of Haki has grown quite a lot. His Salmon Haki has also grown quite a lot, but his Conqueror's Haki is lagging in somewhere due to the fact that he can't really use it on other people as well as on I mean, why the hell would he use it at All Might? Seriously. So his Conquerors and Armament have been boosted due to his intense training for the 9 months that he has been training with All Might. But his Conqueror's Haki is lacking a little bit. Now you might be thinking, oh, it might be boosted because of One for All, but no. Remember, I said in the starting in the previous episode that One for All, I mean, Haki is not a quirk. But let me make sure that you guys understand this. Haki is not a quirk. It's basically an embodiment of willpower. That's it. Okay? That to seat. That doesn't mean that everybody's getting it, okay? No, it's not. Only Izuka has it because I wanted him to have it. Full stop. I'm not gonna make an entire episode where Shigaraki has it like another what if YouTube. I mean, it is still quite good. The show is still quite good. But as I said, this is my take on it. And I do not want Shigaraki to be even more OP than he already would be. I said would be in the future. Manga spoilers. For manga readers, you guys know what I'm talking about. But for anime spoilers, you guys still have to wait because I don't think the anime still hasn't exploited that. I mean, you guys know that Shigaraki is getting experimented, so the entire war arc hasn't happened yet. Meaning Deku versus Shigaraki hasn't happened yet. Manga spoilers. Anyways, as I said, let's continue with the goddamn story instead of blabbing out going to Shigaraki or something. Now, as I said, One for All does only boosts quirks. Like, for example, when Bakugo had the quirk in the movie, his explosions were boosted to an incredible degree. Okay, seriously, the guy has explosions which were like exploding building level to exploding city level. That much of a boost was given to him by One for All. But since, as I said, Haki is not a quirk, it does not get a boost. Haki only develops as the will of the user develops. Meaning, due to the fact, as the will of the user develops, if Izuku develops his own will, he develops his Haki. That's it. There's no connection between Haki and the quirks, meaning he doesn't get any boosts. Anyways, as I said, with his reaction speed, he's easily able to stop before hitting a wall or tripping over it. This causes his mother to cry and apologize to him again and again, but Izuku forgives her, explaining that even though she did not support him, he still had her in her life and did also kind of support him by including him in martial arts and other exercises. She still cries anyways. But anyways, I'm blabbing. Anyways, Izuku dresses up and goes to UA, where he stands outside the classroom and tries to sense what kind of people would be there. And he immediately realizes one thing, or like two things. First is that Bakugo is in his fucking class and he's kind of annoyed by it. I mean, come on, who wouldn't be annoyed by Bakugo? It's like always screaming and shit. Except for Kirishima, because for some odd reason Kirishima doesn't get annoyed by Bakugo. I mean, that guy's manly. And number two is that the guy who is, once again, the guy who interrupted the present mic during the presentation of the robots is also there, and they are like standing next to each other. Izuku doesn't know how he's gonna do it, but he takes a deep breath, calms his nerves, and opens the door to hear shouting between Katsuki and what's the name? Katsuki and Ida. Now, before I say this, I'm gonna make this one thing very clear: is that Izuku doesn't get called Deku anymore. Okay, Izuku doesn't get called Deku anymore because the fact that he can just knock out Bakugo kind of stopped Kachan to call him Deku. Basically, Deku means defenseless Izuku, and since Deku isn't being called defenseless Izuku because he can just knock Bakugo out, Bakugo doesn't call him Deku anymore. Basically, it's kind of an insult rather than. Basically, it's kind of a thing that Bakugo tries to demotivate Izuku with, but Izuku doesn't give a shit. but he still hates the name Izuku. Meaning something's gonna change in the future. Don't worry about it. If you guys know what I mean. Okay, I drank water. Anyways, let's continue. Ida quickly runs up or walks up in his robotic style to Izuku to give him congrats for passing the entrance exam with flying marks. Also, while getting the hidden purpose of the exam. Izuku is confused, like, what the hell are you talking about? But before Ida could explain, someone comes in from behind, which Izuku already reacts to because he can sense, as I said, he can sense willpower. He can sense other people. He turns around to see Uraraka coming to them and kind of surprises Uraraka and Ida that, Izuku just turned around and there was Uraraka, but Uraraka does come to them and thank profusely to Izuku. Even though Uraraka, anyways, as I said, even though Izuku didn't had done very good in this examination rather than his counterpart, where he got 0 willing points. Uraraka would still pass because she did try to give Izuku some points. But anyways, I'm blabbing a lot. Izuku senses some other person when he sees, and it's downward to the floor, and he turns to the floor, and Aiza was actually surprised. No, he didn't think someone's gonna figure him out. But Aizawa doesn't show that expression in his face and tells the students to settle down and tells them to forgo the apprehension test. Ochako tries to protest, but Aizawa easily shuts up, saying, "It's my class. I do whatever the fuck I want." And they all go outside wearing gym clothes, and due to Izuku being much more better, he's much more taller than Canon instead of being a short midget. He's already overtaking, well, not already, he's a little bit higher than Katsuki, which pisses him off to no end. And come on, Bako is a little petty, and I don't give a shit about how you guys feel about it. As I said, the core apprehension test is included, and Izuku is given the first try because he's the number one guy who got the full marks in this year's. Izuku gets the ball, and Aizawa tells him to throw at full power. And well, full power he can't do it because he was going to break his arms. So Izuku uses armament Haki to his body, to his hands, and he uses one for all and throws as far as possible to his throws as far as possible to till his current strength, and the ball lands very far, and Aizawa turns the meter to he turns the meter to the students to show that Izuku has got around 2000 meters, which kind of shocks everybody, even Todoroki, and Bakugo again fumes because, well, it's Izuku. Come on, the guy fumes at everything. It's Bakugo. Come on, he fumes at literally everything. This makes everybody excited because they think that they can finally use their quirk. But Aizawa shuts them off, explaining that those who fail are getting expelled. Izuku instantly sees those as rouse because, as I said, he can feel observation that Aizawa is not technically serious about expelling. He is serious about expelling, but there's another hidden agenda to it, and that is to push the students beyond the limits to go plus ultra, as I said. So the tests are going on, which are, the first is the 50-meter dash, which Izuku easily clears in around 2 seconds, which again, due to the fact that him and Bakugo are put in the same round, Bakugo, who was up to 4 seconds, is pissed as like fuck. Again, he's like fuming as fuck. Next is grip strength, and Izuku, due to the fact that he has one for all, as well as armament Haki, which boosts his strength like incredible. He's able to tie with what's his name? What's his name? I forgot. The guy with 6 arms and 6 legs. Ogio or some guy. What's his name? Wait a second. Yeah, Shoji. He's able to tie with Shoji with which was around if I remember 540 kg. The next is a standard long jump, and Izuku easily goes outside the sandbox because, again, as I said, he has one of the most OP powerful abilities. I mean, in his words, that is. Next is the repeated sidestep, which Izuku easily uses one for all as to sidestep. Again, basically, Izuku is depending on his physical strength, armament, haki, as well as one for all to basically overpower his test. But Mineta, due to the fact that he has the ability to create balls from his hair, is able to win this. Next is if I remember what is the next is uh, next is also there's a distance run, seated toe touch, and sit-ups. And Izuku again clears this easily because of the one for all. And the final result is Izuku being on first because of his, well, not much versatility that he had, but more of less because of his insane strength, physical stats. Second is Momo Yaruzu, third is Todoroki, and fourth is Bakugo. And because Bakugo is fourth, not even third, Bakugo is pissed beyond relief. I mean, come on, he's not even third, he's fourth. But Aizawa still says that he isn't expelling anyone. I mean, he just wanted to push them again for to do their best. And Izuku does get a sweat drop on this because he couldn't really read Aizawa's expression or his emotions, I guess. And even though Izuku has good sensory abilities due to his observation haki, he ain't able to sense emotions till now. Anyways, as I said, after this is well, they are able to do this, and as I said, due to the fact that Bakugo knows that Izuku is not the guy who he once is, like Goku's Deku, he's in shouting Deku, Deku all the time. Meaning, Uraraka never picks up on this, and instead of calling Izuku Deku, she just calls him Midoriya. This kind of gives a good relationship. And the next day, when they're getting over the classes like English and whatever it is going to be, the battle classes where Izuku sense a very familiar presence and immediately realizes that it's All Might and he gets excited. I mean, come on, who the fuck wouldn't get excited because it's All Might? All Might bursts through the door like a normal person and Izuku sweat drops. Like, seriously, but Izuku's still excited. All Might explains what the battle course is and also gives them their suits. And this, all of them wear, but his ghost suits is completely different than his counterpart. He still has a green type ish suit, but instead of being like a fucking copy of All Might, like the ponytails which represent All Might's hair, as well as the smile, the container which protects his mouth, it's more or less. He still has like the greenish, but it's more not visible, but it's more opposite. Remember the guy, the stealth suit that he had in the movie, Three World Heroes Colliding? Yeah, that's the same suit that he has, but instead of the gloves, he still has the gloves, but instead of the gauntlets that he uses for Black Whip, he doesn't have that really. And the mask, instead of the container which is similar to some smile, he does not have that, but he still has the mask which he uses to cover his face, but instead of it being some kind of bunny bullshit, it's more or less just to cover his face, but there's no bunny in there. But so yeah, as I said, there's no bunny in there. It's, as I said, it's more or less just a stealth suit with a mask. If you guys don't know what the hell stealth suit is, just go and look in the Google. It's just basically stealth suit, but without the gauntlets, the container which protects his like mouth and smell, and yeah. Anyways, I think I would have put the suit in the logo. If you guys really want to check it out, you can go check it out. It would be there. It's just similar to that, but a little different as well. And anyways, the team All Might decides to use the lottery to decide the teams, and it eventually comes up with Izuku and Uraraka versus Katsuki and then Yaida.
Yeah,
And
anyways,
Izuku are
that's
the
all for this
heroes
episode,
while
guys. If you guys like this video, like, share, subscribe, do the necessary stuff. And if you don't, I can understand.
Easily understand.
Peace
the
out.
is gonna come for him, and Uraraka plan that Izuku keeps Katsuki at bay while she goes and takes care of the bomb. Uraraka understands, like, sure, why not? And when the timer runs up and All Might tells them to go inside, they go. Izuku, as I said, knows what Katsuki's presence feels like. So they wait for a conjunction place where all place collides, and uh, the moment Izuku can sense Bakugo coming down, uh, Izuku tells Soraka to immediately run for the bomb which is near Ida, and he tells her that, which is surprising because I mean, come on, they technically don't know what Izuku's quirk really is, even though they can theorize it. I mean, super strength, but sensing ability, yeah, that's just way off the charts. They didn't even think about it for a second. But Uraga still listens to Izuku and goes up there. Well, Izuku goes to a much more fightable area and waits for Bakugo. And eventually, he hears explosions and Bakugo comes shouting, that he's gonna kill Deku. But Izuku just stands there with his arms crossed, waiting for Bakugo. Bakugo quickly uses explosion to come in front of Izuku as fast as possible. But Izuku can easily react to this, but he still doesn't move. Bakugo goes with the right hook, but Izuku just easily ducks, and then he unlocks his what you can say cross unlock his decides to attack. He opens his arms and then uses Almond Haki, and just Almond Haki to punch Bakugo in the gut, which sends him a little bit flying. Bakugo instantly realizes that Izuku isn't going all out, which causes him to get immense anger, and he shouts that Izuku isn't going all out. This does make sense. Izuku can just Izuku points out two things. He just shows two things. Either he can knock him out once, he can knock him out immediately like he did all the other time, or number two, he can knock him out after he fights him. What do you want, Katsuki or Kachan, whatever you say? Izuku just says Kachan. Bakugo again is livid, so he uses explosions as fast as possible. But that's when Izuku, again easily knowing when it's gonna come because he can sense the attack coming to him, he uses Amon Haki, uses one for all, and in the face he just collapses using a bit pressure to basically spread the explosions away so it couldn't harm him. And this surprises Bakugo because what the fuck? Like seriously, what the absolute fuck? Izuku just like slapped Katsuki's Bakugo explosion away like it was nothing. Basically, Hulk smash with generating wind, and he calls it wind smash. He calls this wind clap, which uses his entire power to clap to create a wind pressure, which gives attack. And remember, as I said, due to the fact that Izuku is different, his personality different, his mindset is different, he's able to much more utilize his quirk for attack purposes. Basically, he can create shock. I mean, as he can create wind pressures, which could remove other, which could disperse attacks just like Bakugo's explosion. And Bakugo shock that turns absolutely angry. Bakugo starts talking shit and decides to attack Izuku, but Izuku is there, easily able to react to it. He blocks Katsuki and decides to use one for all. Finally, he uses 5% and gives Bakugo uppercut, which sends him flying back, and Bakugo's jaw hurts like hell. He doesn't know what to do. Bakugo sits up and he wants to do something. He wants to win this match so bad, but he realizes that he has to use that. That's the only way he could even do to defeat Izuku. So he checks his gauntlet, and yes, due to the fact that he's so much mad and he's creating so much glycerol or something, glycerol, he's creating so much sweat, the gauntlet that he's wearing has absorbed it. He shows his spin, and Izuku immediately realizes that something is going to be wrong. And Bakugo explains what this is, how it gathered all the sweats and to create one big explosion. And All Might tells Bakugo to stop, but as you guys know, Bakugo isn't stop. So he removes the explosion, but Izuku decides to do something. He decides to go all out. He channels one for all as well as Almond Haki in his legs, just dodges that attack completely, and with the same strength, he uses one for all in his hands, covered with armament Haki. Again, blitzes in front of Bakugo, punches him straight in the gut with 30% of one for all, sending him crashing into buildings just out of the damn god building, knocking him out completely. Due to the fact that Bakugo just went out of bounds completely, he is declared knocked out. Izuku sees the destruction that the bomb has caused and realizes that Bakugo is doing everything that he can to win. This kind of annoys him because, well, seriously, this is a fire. This is a battle simulation. Why the hell is Bakugo going so high? And that's when Izuku uses his sensors to figure out where Uraraka and Tenya are, and Izuku quickly rushes to them, and Izuku decides to combat Iida's speed while Uchako decides to touch the bomb. That's what they make the plan. The new plan when Izuku comes up and approaches Uraraka from where she's hiding. This and the plan is successful, causing the heroes team to win. Now the MVP is still named Izuku because he basically one-shotted Bakugo, which is manly as fuck in Kishima's eyes. And not only that, but then, as I said, the MVP is given to Izuku because of his ingenious planning, or basically overpowering his opponent as well as holding himself back so he could protect the environment. But as well as due to the fact that he was able to analyze the situation with his sensory abilities, he's given the MVP. Izuku is still worried about Katsuki, so he goes and visits him to the hospital where Bakugo is knocked out. But unsurprisingly for Izuku, Bakugo wakes up at that same moment when Izuku enters, and Bakugo is not angry but calm. Izuku sits at the bench next to him, and Bakugo asks one thing: When did you get this strong? Izuku shrugs and is like, always, maybe, I don't know. The Bakugo gets angry because he knows Izuku's lying. You were now strong then. But before Bakugo could spout more shit, Izuku's just, I could knock you with just my eyes. You really think you know how powerful I was? This statement shakes Bakugo because yes, in the entire life that they know each other, I mean after the fact that Izuku kind of unlocked his quirk, it makes sense. Bakugo was never able to catch Izuku off guard, was never able to hit Izuku after the second time when he used that weird feeling which knocked him out. It's true. Izuku, he knows that Izuku can knock him out. Even though he thinks that he's able to resist it, it proved it. Izuku was going easy on him. The same thing Izuku was doing during the battle. This pisses Bakugo off to no end, but it motivates him. It motivates him to, and he realizes that maybe he's not the most strongest person that he thought he was. But now he's gonna be. He's gonna surpass Izuku. He's gonna be the number one hero, and he's gonna train. He looks at Izuku with determination in his eyes, and Izuku is even kind of surprised because he never saw Bakugo with this much determination. He tells he's gonna defeat him one way or another. Eventually, I'm gonna surpass you, and I'm gonna be the strongest hero this generation. No, this world has ever seen. I'm gonna surpass you, Izuku. This surprises Izuku because he never thought that. Well, Bakugo told him and called him Izuku. Like it was so long ago that he actually didn't even expect it. Izuku nods and says, "I'll be looking forward to it." Nothing more is said. Izuku gets up and walks off. All Might sees this interaction from the side of the hospital and he sighs in relief because he thought something bad was going to happen when he saw Izuku walking towards into infirmary. And that's it for this episode, guys. I'm really glad. I mean, seriously, I already completed the 30